Doesn't sound terrible. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LJ's Garage. I am sitting in a 2021 Genesis G70, and this one's pretty cool because it's got a 6-speed manual. What that means is that this is geared towards someone who wants a little bit more thrill out of their driving experience. So this raises a question. What does something like this that is going up against the 3 Series, the Audi A3, and all the other German competitors out there, how does this really stack up against the competition? My goal is to figure that out today. And so far, just from first glance and first sit and first feel and everything, it's off to a good start. I think that it's pretty solid. And the price point that this undercuts the 3 Series at is pretty impressive. But what's crazy is that this is one of the last manual transmissions that you can get in a sports sedan. It's hard finding a manual transmission in general, even in the sports car world. So as a sports sedan, you know, it's on borrowed time. This is probably the last one that we're going to see for a very long time. Even Volkswagen's getting away from all of that. BMW's done with that in the 3 Series, so it's pretty sad. But you know what? I like driving a manual. I enjoy what this has to offer. At least I think I will. Stay tuned for more. So let's talk about the specs, because that's important if you're going to call this a sport luxury type sedan. And it's right in that entry-level position, which is very competitive. I won't lie to you guys. It's hard to justify one of these, considering as well that BMW sells like 40,000 plus 3 Series a year, and this only sells like 15,000, somewhere in that ballpark. And the crazy thing is this is just a 2-liter turbo, but this 2-liter turbo, it's not bad. It makes 255 horsepower with the manual and only about 252 if you get the automatic. 0 to 60 time is going to take about 7.3 seconds, which is not impressive, but it's also not terrible considering you only have 255 horsepower. If you want the 3.3, like I said, that's going to be around 365 horsepower, somewhere in that ballpark for the Kia Stinger. And so, you know, sometimes you just got to decide if that's really worth sacrificing the money for. Because most people, let's face it, not everyone's a speed demon. Not everyone wants the crazy power. And like I said earlier, this does have all-wheel drive, but if you want to get all-wheel drive, you have to get rid of the manual. So manual is rear-wheel drive only. Good, bad, depends how you look at it. Not my decision to make, but you know, I'm glad that it is offered. So with all that being said, let's take a quick walk around on the outside and see what this has to offer, and then we'll hop on the inside, talk about some features, and then we'll take it for a spin. All right, and so here's what everything looks like from the outside perspective. I think this is a great looking sedan, and on top of that, I think Genesis makes some of the best looking cars on the market. Unfortunately, they don't get all the love that they deserve. I don't know why, but you know, when you talk about entry-level luxury, it's a very competitive segment. You've got Acura in there, you've got the 3 Series in there, you've got the Audi A3, you've got the Mercedes-Benz C-Class in there, you've got all different sorts of competition, and everyone's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to make a budget-friendly sedan for those young business professionals, all of that are just starting to make the money, and they want something really nice, but they don't have nice money, so enter the G70. And overall, this looks good. I mean, they do cut corners on some places, but when it comes to what counts, I don't think that they really do. They offer a lot of bang for your buck. So I do like Genesis, don't get me wrong. You got 19-inch wheels, and then behind those, if you look really closely, you're gonna see that those are Brembo brakes, and they look good. These are nice wheels. This whole thing is very German styled, even though it's from a Korean automaker. So if you don't know, Genesis is the luxury brand for Hyundai, and so this is what you get. You got a little bit of chrome trim, I like that. You got keyless entry, side mirrors fold, all of that stuff as you would expect. And then on the back end side, I mean, everything looks good here too. And before I get any further, special thanks to Voss Toyota over here in Beaver Creek, Ohio. If you're in the Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus area, you're on the market for a Toyota, they've got plenty. And I do come here pretty often, so if you stop in, be sure to ask for Morgan and let him know LJ sent you. So take a look at this. Taillights, got a little bit of a diffuser on the back. It's very subtle yet elegant. There's just something about this design that if you didn't know any better, you would think that it's like something from BMW. It's like, you know, they copied the homework, but they changed just enough to make it quite cool. And then the front end is where everything really shines on this. Headlights are nice and sharp, daytime running lights are cool, the Genesis badge is cool, everything is awesome. They even got all their radar systems hidden very nicely, so you got a little plate there. The chrome isn't for everyone, and yes, you can get black grills. That is a thing that they do offer, and you can also, change that later if you want to. I'll go ahead and pop the hood and we'll talk about the engine. All right, and there you have it, your 4-cylinder turbo. Pretty easy to work on. Look, everything is pretty accessible, and I mean, this is nice. Sensors I can grab. There's really nothing too crazy in there. And like I said, it's only 255 horsepower, so it's not really working too hard. You do get a nice Hyundai warranty with everything. And look at that, strut braces, bam, bam. I mean, they're not the most crazy looking things or the best looking things, but you know what, at the end of the day, as long as they're there for extra added support and cornering and all that good stuff, it's nice to have. I can't be mad at Hyundai/Genesis for putting this engine in here, and some would say that it's not enough, but that's okay. For some, 255 horsepower is all you need. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll open up this trunk. Boom, boom. All-weather floor mat in here. And then you can see the good bit of space. Like I said, it's normal 3 Series size, Nissan Altima size. And you do get a little bit of storage underneath here. I don't feel like dealing with all of that to show you guys way under there, but just know you do have plenty of storage, and that's not going to be an issue. So well done, Genesis. Off to a great start, I would say. Like I said, you do have keyless entry, so you just push this button to unlock, lock, all of that fancy stuff. Once it's unlocked, this is what your back seats look like. Pretty nice. No complaints there. Unfortunately, you don't get rear climate vents or anything else really back here. And so I'm sitting in the back seats. I am 5'9". I've got this driver's seat set a little bit taller than I normally do. As you can see, plenty of headroom, plenty of space back here, no complaints. Like I said, no rear vents, which is kind of unfortunate at this price point, but it is just a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It is just a Genesis first entry-level trim. This is built this way to push you towards higher trims and like the G80, G90, those type of things. And this is what everything looks like from back here. So you can see pretty standard cockpit. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad though. I think it's got just a little sprinkle of all that you need. All right, now that we're inside, I just want to show you guys it's got the easy entry exit. So you can see the steering wheel is going to lower. Pretty nice. So we'll give it a little start up there. Does its little system check, and bam, bam, analog gauges, and just a little small screen in the middle that shows you just a little bit of what you need to know. Brings us to the next point. You can talk about some of the safety features that you get. You get your driver attention warning. You can click on lane safety. You've got active lane keep assist, standard lane keep assist, and lane departure warning. So it does have all of that. So pretty good tech, I would say, in my personal opinion. And then on this left-hand side, this is where you're going to have your lane keep assist, your blind spot monitoring, your trunk, fuel door, all that is right there. And now I'm going to move over to this center screen. In the center screen, you're going to see that you do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can go into menus, and then there's different things like connected services if you really need that. Nothing too important to dive into there. Voice commands, Sirius radio, you can go to your climate, but you can't actually adjust any of this climate stuff from there. It just allows you to see it. So if you want to do that though, you have to use this little button. You use this little dial right here, and then it changes that on the screen. So that's what that does. You do got your heated controls right there, 3 levels for toasted buns, all of these different shortcuts as well, physical buttons all over the place. And so it has everything that you could ask for. It's got some options, it's got some niceties. Ooh, screensaver. Ooh, I like the analog. That's fancy. Moving along, you're going to notice that you do have cooled seats, well, ventilated seats. You just press those buttons there. You can't do the heated and cooled seats at the same time, but it's okay. The ventilated seats are nice on a very sunny day like today. Climate control, you click that, and that's how you get to those buttons again. Nothing really fancy there. Down at the bottom, you're going to have a little cover here that you can push and close. And then under that, you're going to have little charge ports. This isn't a wireless charger or anything, just a nice little storage area. Like I said, 6-speed manual transmission with your reverse to the top left, and then traction control off, and then your different drive modes. Press that, and you'll notice you've got Eco, Comfort, Sport, and then you could do Custom. And if you click on Custom, you hit Settings, And then you can do like powertrain in one mode and then steering in a different mode. So if you care to do all that, the option is there. And when you do the different drive modes, it does change the color on the gauges, so you get a little bit of fun. Continuing along, cup holders, old school emergency parking brake, cubby, glove box, and that's it. That's what you get. Up top, you got a little place for your sunglasses, as usual, and then your dome lighting controls. You got a little vanity mirror right here. Whoa, that is a big mirror. That is one of the largest mirrors I've ever seen on a car. That's huge. All right, so let's see what this thing is about. Clutch is a little light. Takes a little getting used to, I will say. And that's with most clutches, but I'm surprised that it feels the way that it does. Like, I don't feel like it's sport tuned. I feel like it's a very economy car feeling clutch. Brakes are sharp. I realize also that this has Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, which are impressive tires that I strongly recommend. I run them on my M3, and I'm glad to see them on this car because rear wheel drive, getting caught in the rain, it just makes a lot of sense to have those. You get a little shift light. Sounds okay, feels okay. Do sport mode, okay. See if I can get a little exhaust here. Doesn't sound terrible. I mean, it feels pretty nice. It does feel really nice. I can't complain and say that I don't like anything specific about it. I think it looks good, it feels good. I was expecting a little bit more from this one, I won't lie. I feel like it wants to be a fun driving manual. It just doesn't quite have that. It reminds me of, oh, that's what it reminds me of a Civic SI, but without the tuner feel. It's more just grown up manual. Like, it's not, I don't know. There's just something, I don't know. Overall, I think this is nice. It gets the job done. It's a good manual transmission, but it's not great. It's a good car, but it's not great. And I do give them extra points because they're still offered a manual up to this late in the game. I don't know why they did it, but the fact that they did makes me happy because this car is kind of a last of a dying breed, and I wish that it's still, you know, I still wish that they had manual transmissions for people. Such is life, and that's the world we live in. And yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out yet another video in LJ's Garage. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks again. Bye-bye.